And away we go. It is the Nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com. As always, visit www.galacticfriedchicken.com. You can't see it on the scroll yet, but it'll be there in a second. Download the app for Android, iPhone. See, there it is. I told you, everything Galactic. Go to the app, and they will deliver pretty much anywhere inside the 275 loop, right to your front door, or Wednesday through Sunday, lunch and dinner. Get down to Galactic Fried Chicken in Dayton, Kentucky, and tell them to pump it up. They will save you 15%. All right, Aaron. Very newsy type day yesterday in Bearcat land. We've had a lot of news over the past week. I've done everything possible to be here and keep you up to date on all that. Sometimes as we get into the off season, we got to talk about some stuff on the periphery of college sports.
Is that what a day it's been on that note.
Directly UC related, but like are relevant to the UC conversation. And the biggest news of the past 72 hours, probably.
It's been in the cycle for certainly more than a day.
Is what's happening in Colorado. They had their spring game over the weekend. I can't confirm this. I saw somebody mention this. I can't confirm it, that a lot of the Colorado spring game over the weekend was 7-on-7 because they didn't have enough bodies to do 11-on-11 on both sides, of the ball.
Can you imagine what this fan base would do if SAT ran out 7-on-7 for most of the day?
So we are looking at a situation at Colorado. They are down to, I think the last I saw, and this has been hard to keep up with because guys keep entering the portal every time you look.
It's fluid.
I believe they have 18 players remaining that were on scholarship a season ago. From a team that had 70-something scholarship players, they are down under 20. They have lost 50-something players to graduation, the portal, whatever. Now, they added 29 in the December recruiting transfer window.
7 hours ago, 24/7 tweeted out that they had lost 19 since Saturday.
Yeah. They've lost 50-plus players since Deion Sanders was hired.
They also dipped below 20 scholarship players on the roster.
No, that's not. They dipped below 20 remaining scholarship players that were there from a year ago. That's what that.
This
I think there's some headlines that are misleading.
This tweet from 247 says the exodus from Colorado football to the NCAA transfer portal continued Tuesday. Colorado now dips below 20 scholarship players on its roster with a new wave of recruits set to arrive in June.
I guess maybe they lost, like they added some guys that early enrolled or that transferred and were able to enroll in January at the start of the semester. I find it hard to believe they only had 40 guys in their spring game. But some of this is just headlines and how you read headlines and how headlines are worded.
So far, 63 of their 83 scholarship players from 2022 have moved on. So to your point.
So they have 7 players that were on the team last year.
So whoever wrote the tweet, whoever wrote the tweet for 24/7 could have been misinformed on the numbers.
Or just
based on that.
They didn't word it properly.
Yeah.
So they did have some guys come in January. So they have more than 17 guys on the roster right now. But they're still
not by much.
50 short of the 85, whatever. Like they've got 30 or 40 guys, maybe like 45 guys on their roster right now.
And by the way, your receiver who just had 154 yards in that game on Saturday is in the portal. And
but there's also the possibility that one of us could have had 150 yards in that game, given the state of that current roster. So it's all relative. But here's let's take the jokes, let's take everything and kind of set that aside. This is the ultimate. We've seen this in the transfer portal era in basketball a lot, where a coach comes in and maybe it started in 2006 with Mick Cronin when he had Ced McGowan and Ron Allen and Connor Barwin on his roster when he took the job, where the roster gets gutted to the studs and you have to start all over. That's never really happened in football before, Aaron, because there's always guys leave and whatever, but there's always like 40, 50 guys remaining.
Right.
And then you add 20 or 30 guys to that, and you start the rebuild. This is Dion. He told us. Here's the thing. He told us in his first meeting with the team, right? He records everything and puts it on social media. But he told us, y'all are going in the portal. Pack your bags. The fuck out of here. Bringing in my own stuff. I don't know if he meant it like this, but
I can't imagine he did. I don't even know that he anticipated this.
This roster is gutted to the studs, bro. I gotta blow my nose. Hold on.
That's fine. We saw even with Coach Luke Fickell leaving and Coach Satterfield coming in and all of that. Cincinnati lost a ton of guys. It's no secret. This happens. We've seen plenty of rosters lose a ton of guys. And I don't know what the actual number that Cincinnati got down to, but I would imagine it was probably close to that 50, 55 mark. And they've certainly started hitting the portal already in this new window. They've already made some additions even prior to in the last window. So, we saw that even here in the transition from coach to coach.
It's going to happen.
Christ almighty, I cannot imagine as a fan, as somebody covering this team, to see it not happen after the bowl games, but happen after the spring game, where you're trying to add this many guys.
So just think of it this way, Aaron. 85, right? 85 is the number. So let's say you graduate 20 as a high-end number. That's 65 of your returning roster. There's 17 scholarship players left from that 65. That's 40. That's the entire foundation of your roster gone.
And even Marcus Peterson was set to have an official visit this weekend at Colorado, and he committed today to McNeese. Why? Because there's a dumpster fire in Boulder, Colorado right now.
But I think that's the interesting part, Aaron. We don't know if this is a dumpster fire.
Come on.
Or if this is what, and I'm not here, but let's have a more nuanced conversation about it. I think this might have been what Dion envisioned when he was saying those things.
That doesn't mean they're going to be good this year.
But now you are stuck. You got to go get 25, 30 guys again.
Everyone.
Again? You went in the December, January window and got 29 guys. You're probably going to have to go get another 25 in the spring.
At least.
That's crazy.
At least. I don't know. Wasn't his son mentioned as a Heisman hopeful?
By Dion?
No, I think he was being reported as an actual Heisman hopeful.
Well, that's because everybody jumps on the Dion hype train.
I would not be surprised if Colorado wins 3 games this year, 2 games.
Yeah, man. It's a wild deal. And
why would you burn the whole thing down like this? This doesn't make sense to me. I understand.
1-11, they were the worst.
Okay, team. You can't tell me there was nobody on that roster though that didn't deserve a scholarship for Colorado. Come on, man.
So here's what I think.
It's the Pac-12. Come on, man.
Here's what I think you're running into. I think you're running into a coach that looks at those guys and says, I ate $100 worth of Buca de Beppo tonight. So you're going to have to excuse maybe the hiccups for a second. Chicken parm, stuffed shells, manicotti, 7 desserts. It was really good. If you haven't been to Buca de Beppo with your family, I would suggest it. Not an unpaid ad, but I think he wanted all of them gone. I think he looked at that roster and said, "You're all losers. You're 1-11. You're all losers." I don't think that's fair. I think that's a bad way to view the talent on your roster.
I wanted him to be successful upon everything initially at Colorado. I want him to lose so bad now. I want this whole thing to explode in his face because you just shit on an entire team of kids.
Yeah. This is why, as we got into, and everybody knows, everybody that watched this network,
I was all in on him.
Luke Fickle left. I was all in on Dion. He was never going to work here because this is what he wanted. He wanted to find a place that he could gut everything. He did not want to find a place with structure, with good kids, with 30, 40, 50 high-level players.
He video gamed it. This is what I do. This is what I do on MLB The Show or on Madden
He is the worst of the Bearcat Journal message board. He is the worst of Twitter. Gut it. Kick them all out. They're all gone. I'll keep 10 kids from this roster, and I'm going to add 75 new kids for next year.
And you wonder how many of those kids from Colorado now entering this late may not find a D1 home.
And if they do, where's it going to be?
Well, and truthfully, I mean, granted, they were on a D1 team that went 1-11, so maybe they weren't necessarily D1 talent. I haven't watched a single snap of Colorado football, so I can't tell you anything one way or the other.
Sure.
All I'm saying is you cannot convince me right now that there is not a dumpster fire being headed by Primetime.
I think it's what he wanted.
I don't think it's
Be careful what you ask for. Are we in that range? Be careful what you wish for.
As things currently stand, I think right now in the Pac-12, you really only have one team to worry about, and that's USC.
And they're gone after this year.
So I don't know what you had to clear everything out for, is I guess my point, because the Pac-12 was never strong. Like, you didn't have to go full Armageddon on the roster just to compete in the Pac-12. You really didn't.
Imagine the panic here if this is what was happening here.
No, I can't actually imagine it. It would be horrendous.
A program that was in the playoff 2 years ago now has a guy come in and think he's bigger than the program and is essentially firing everybody, not allowing them to have their tapes. No, he could. If he would have come here, that is what he would have demanded.
Well, and I think that's why he couldn't come here.
Right. That's the point I made 4 months ago. He picked Colorado because that was the place that there would be no resistance. Nobody is going to push back on we need to get rid of everybody.
This business about pushing a kid into the portal because you don't want him on your team and not giving him his tape from practice for a coach who is not you, by the way, who is no longer at the program.
Staff. Can I just have my tape from the old staff
so I can go find a new home?
Yeah. No. Get out. He just changed the locks on a lot of these kids.
That's a shitty way to do business. It's not the NFL. This is not the NFL, right? Like that's how they handle. That's how they handle things in the hard. When you get to the facility and your badge doesn't work. That's what just happened with this poor kid. I just want my tape, man.
We just telekinesis that situation.
Yeah.
The guy walked to his door and was like, hello. That's what Colorado just did.
By the way, the poor kid is like, I'm not even trying to talk bad about Dion, by the way. Like
Yeah.
he's got to cover every. Oh, I can't even. He's got to dot every I, cross every T in the way he's trying to even navigate this situation, because you can't be the kid who went just mad at the coach, who just, by the way, went scorched earth on the entire program.
Yeah. And Aaron, what if you're one of those 17 kids still there?
You have no friends right now, except the other 16 people in that locker room with you.
How much of all of you looking at each other and going, we ain't got to go home, but we got to get the, you know what, out here.
Well, one of those 17 kids is Prime's son, so
no. Prime's son was not on scholarship at Colorado before Dion got there.
All right. I don't know what the scholarship, I don't know what's happening anymore.
There are 17 players that were on scholarship at Colorado the day Dion was hired. There's 17 of them left.
He didn't kick any of the kids out that he brought in already.
I think there are a couple that did leave.
I'm sure there are.
Yeah,
I'm sure there are. So you not quite even that number that he brought in with
right.
him.
That's why it's all
a mess. Hard to keep track of. It's like the COVID years.
I think there's 40 something kids left on that roster as they go into the summer.
Unreal.
Even the NFL, which I think the 53 number in the NFL is embarrassing. That they only let you have 53 guys on your active roster. The Colorado is well below that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
They don't have to worry about anybody wearing the same number on offense and defense, I don't think.
I don't know that Scott Satterfield's the right guy. We'll find out. I like a lot of things. There are still things that we have to find out on the field. I was planting the flag for Deion Sanders for like the first 2 weeks. Yeah. But I'm owning what I said. I'm not taking, I'm owning what I said.
I'm all the way out, and I'm rooting against him now.
I'm not rooting against him because I still love prime time, but boy, it would have been the way he's handled Colorado. It would have been a disastrous fit if he handled things the same way at Cincinnati. See you tomorrow night. Brian Brown, defensive coordinator for the Bearcats, on the BCJ pod tomorrow night. And we'll have a nightcap too. We'll see you then. This is the Nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on Bearcat General.
See ya.